Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm DCSG81 and in this video we are going to look into some comparison for this latest NOTA Studio in collaboration with Boring Toys for the Mark 85 shield accessory pack, and also with the Takara Tony Mark 85 set A. Okay, so first of all, let's take a very quick look at the box. You can already see that their box are very distinctively different. Okay, with the NOTA Studio having some printing on them, which looks pretty good. But of course, Takara Tony always like to stick to simplicity, just a brown box. But it doesn't matter how it looks outside, what's inside is what matters most. Okay, but on the inside, it actually also looks very similar, and I'll show you why. Okay, so we'll take a look at this one, which I have already did a preview just recently. You can check out the link on the top right corner. Okay, so this is how it looks like for the NOTA Studio. Okay, and the shield is right below. Okay, and let's see how Takara Tony does it. Okay, so for the Takara Tony is almost similar, just that they have a few more things. Okay, it's also using the very similar I don't know what you call this, foam, black foam. They do have a stickers. Okay, very nicely printed. Okay, and then so there it is. You can see how they arrange is almost very similar, and they also do have the shield right beneath. Okay, and there's also a cut there that you can see. Okay, so they are all having a very similar one, but let's take a look at all the accessories in comparisons. Okay, so as you can see now, I have both set on display. Okay, so on my left, this side is actually from the Takara Tony, and on my right, this side is actually all from the NOTA Studio. So what is very visible is that the Takara Tony one is a lot bigger in size compared to the NOTA Studio, but we'll take a look at it one by one. Okay, so let's take a look at the blade first. Okay, so let's see. So you can see both of it have the hands already sculpted on the blades. Okay, so again, on my left is from the Takara Tony, and on my right is from the NOTA Studio. Okay, so you can see the design are very similar. Okay, yep, and let's take a look at here. Okay, yep, sorry about that. I think I should use the same hands so you can see better. Okay, this is the sculpting of the hand. Okay, you can see Takara one has more detail, including the golden paints on his thumb. Okay, and the paint on the Takara one is also more vibrant. Okay, you can see that. Okay, the NOTA Studio isn't that bad as well. Okay, and I kind of like the Takara translucent blade a little more, because for the NOTA Studio, it seems that they are still not as translucent enough as compared to this one. Okay, you can see it's really, you know, transparent. You can see your fingers on it, but this one is not really. It's like semi-translucent. Okay, this one is a lot more. Okay, but both of them has done a pretty good job. Okay, and next we'll look into the star cannon. And I do remember that I mentioned in the review for the NOTA Studio that I actually like this portion here, but when I look again at the Takara Tony, it's actually a lot much better. Okay, you can see the lack of details on the NOTA Studio and the amount of details that Takara actually puts into it. Okay, and each one of it is looking very nice. Okay, very shiny, the paints. Okay, and you can see that it's a lot smaller compared to the Takara Tony's one. And do note that both of them are also meant for the SH Figuarts. Okay, yeah. Okay, very nice. Let's take a look at here. Okay, so of course I will actually test it on the SH Figuarts Mark 85 later on, so you can have a look on which one actually looks better. Okay, so from this side, each of the cannon actually looks more details on the Takara Tony's one. Okay, you can see that. And if you do notice, the Takara Tony ones have the blue printed on it. It's like a blue plates. Okay, and all this will actually glows when you have the UV light shines on it. Okay, while the NOTA Studio doesn't have it, but NOTA Studio do have the UV light functions on the shield as well as the blade, and the same goes for the Takara as well, which I will show it to you guys later on, of course. Okay, and all this blue color thingy that you can see will also glows when you have the UV light shines on it. Okay, but the NOTA Studio doesn't have any. Okay, yep. So now let's look on the shield. This is a very huge difference. Okay, wow. Okay, I do like the NOTA Studio. The transparent shield actually looks a lot nicer. For the Takara Tony's one is a little bit more like a cloudy kind of translucent, but I kind of like this better. Okay, but in terms of size, I do think that I actually prefer the Takara Tony's one, because it actually looks much better when it's on the Mark 85, because it looks like it actually protect him from head to tail. Sorry, from head to the legs, but this one is like just halfway through. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look into it later. Okay, yeah, and the Takara Tony doesn't have this thing to put on his hand. He have an extra additional things, I'll show it to you guys later, for him to connect to his hands. Okay, so now let's take a look at how it connects to the Mark 85 from the SH Figuarts. Okay, since you have just watched how I actually try this Mark 85 from SH Figuarts on the NOTA Studio accessory pack, this time I will try it on the Takara Tony instead. Okay, so we'll start with the blades. Okay, this is from Takara Tony. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, of course it also have the left and the right hands. Okay, and it's very easily put into. I don't need to do any force, and if you listen closely, it does have the clicking sound which NOTA Studio doesn't have. Yep, this is what I call the perfect fits. Okay, same like how you actually interchange the SH Figuarts hands. You have the clicking sound, you don't have to apply any force to make it click. Okay, yeah, so this is what the NOTA Studio fails to do so. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, for the blades. Okay, it's actually a lot bigger. Okay, and it's also look a lot better with the bigger swords. Okay, so maybe we can do some comparison later when it comes to the NOTA Studio trials. Okay, now I just want you to have a look. Okay, so it's looking very good with the blades on. Okay, very nice. And the paints for the Takara Tony actually matches a little bit better compared to the NOTA Studio, because this one actually looks like how it comes from the SH Figuarts. Compare the SH Figuarts hands. Okay, so this is the original SH Figuarts hands, and you can see how well it actually matches. Okay, yep, even the patterns on his hands, you can really see it, but I don't remember the NOTA Studio ones have it. Let's take a look. This is from the NOTA Studio, and you can see how much different it is compared to the Mark 85 hands from the SH Figuarts. Okay, they don't have the linings. This is what they fail to put into the details. As for the Takara Tony, he really take everything into the consideration when making the products. Okay, so this is what he's great on. He really take notes on every single details, even a minor one, when he's making his products. Okay, this is his merit. Okay, he's very good in all these things. Okay, so let's move on to the star cannon on his back. Okay, so for the star cannon, we can see that it's also something like the NOTA Studio, whereby you just need to put it in. Okay, but this time I'm not sure whether it has a clicking sound. I don't remember that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so no, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have any clicking sound. It just actually goes into it, okay, very easily. And you can see that it's actually a lot better. I mean, I kind of like it spread out even more, because since it's bigger, so it actually looks better in terms of the spreading, okay. Because if it's too small, it will looks very cute. You know, it's like it's having a little wings behind. So this one actually looks a lot better in terms of the scaling with this Figuarts Mark 85. Okay, so let me adjust the camera a little. Okay, yep, so you can see better. Yep, so this is how it looks like. Okay, and later on I will actually compare it with the NOTA Studio as well. Okay, yep, so let's take a look. Wow. Okay, so for the shield, as we can see, it's actually like what I mentioned just now. It covers from the head to his leg. Okay, this is a lot bigger compared to the NOTA Studio, which I'll compare for you guys as well. So this is what I meant, that it looks more appropriate, that it looks like he's having these shields to protect his entire body, as compared to this one, it can only protect up to his body without his head. Okay, yeah, so this one actually looks more appropriate to me. Okay, so like I mentioned, it does come with something like this to actually put it on here when he's holding onto it. Okay, so this one will actually attach to his hands, okay, which is like a ball joint that it connects to. Okay, something like this. Yes, and then you just put it on. Okay, there's a advantages to this is that it doesn't restrict which hands for it to put on. You can put it on the left hand or the right hand, up to you. But of course, if you want to make it movie accurate, you should connect it to the right hand, because he's holding it on his right hand. As compared to the NOTA Studio, okay, they actually sculpted the hands inside, okay, which actually like this, okay, which actually is a left hand. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I did mention this in my review. So they already sculpted the left hand, which to make it even worse is the wrong hand, because he actually holds it in the right hand, but they already sculpted the left hand on it. Okay, so of course you may say that it doesn't matter, because you can't really tell from the front. Okay, but from the side, I mean, if you really want to nitpick, you can actually tell that it's actually the wrong hand if you put this shield on his right hand. Okay, yep, so for the Takara Tony, he doesn't restrict that. Okay, it's up to you. So this is how it looks like with the shields on. Okay, we can take some notes on how it looks like, and of course later on we'll compare it again with the NOTA Studio. Okay. Okay, so right up next, I will put the NOTA Studio parts on him, so that I'll also can do a comparison with the Takara Tony's one that you have seen just now. Okay, so let's put it on, and again, it's very hard to put it on. Okay, so it's really not something that I would recommend doing it so often, because I'm kind of afraid that the joint might break after some time. Okay, so now you can see these blades, and let's do some comparison right now. Okay, so you can see I put the Takara Tony one on the right. Okay, so you can see how good it looks, or how bad it looks. Okay, yep, let's take a look. Yes, okay, this is how it looks like with the smaller blades as compared to the Takara Tony's one. Okay, and right up next, of course, we will put on the Star Cannon from the NOTA Studio. Okay, let's see how it looks like when compared to the Takara Tony's. Okay, so now let's try with the close-up, because I did take a picture close-up for the Takara Tony, and we can do a comparison right now. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit cute, as I mentioned, because it's so tiny as compared to the Takara Tony one, which looks more intimidating. Okay, yeah, so let's take a look. This is how it looks like for the NOTA Studio as compared to the Takara Tony's. Okay, and let's take a look at the back. Okay, yep. And lastly, of course, I will try on the shield from the NOTA Studio, and since they have already pre-made it on the left hand, so I have no choice but to test it on his left hand instead of the right hands. Okay, so this might be something different compared to the Takara Tony, because I tested the Takara Tony ones on the right hand, which is movie accurate because he really does hold the shield on his right hand. Okay, so now let's take a look on how it looks like. Like I mentioned, I actually prefer this material better compared to the Takara Tony, but in terms of scale, I kind of like the Takara Tony's one, because you can see from the picture it actually looks more protective for his entire body instead of this one. You can still have some gaps here and there, okay, because it's smaller. Okay, so this is how it looks like when compared to the Takara Tony's. Okay, so that's all for the comparison between the Takara Tony as well as the NOTA Studio for the Mark 85 weapon sets. Okay, so I believe you have known my choice. If I were to go for it, Takara Tony is still the best choice, no doubt about it. You can see the size, the quality, and the attention to details is all on Takara Tony. But if you couldn't get your hand on the Takara Tony, I think this NOTA Studio set is not as bad. Like I mentioned, it's a lot better compared to the Nano Weapon set for Mark 50 that they released previously. You can actually check out my review. I did review that as well. And in terms of the price, of course, you may have guessed it, the Takara Tony one does cost a little bit more. It's not a lot more, it's just a little bit compared to this one. And also the Takara Tony didn't just come with these things, okay, it actually comes with a few more other things, including the nano gauntlet. Okay, if you want to know more of what it comes with, I will put the link here because I have done the review as well. Yeah, so it has a lot more parts for you to play around as compared to the NOTA Studio. It's just what you see here. Okay, so of course it will cost a little bit more, but you are also paying for the quality. Okay, so if you are interested to get this Takara Tony set, all you need to do is just contact Takara Tony in Facebook. Okay, just give him a message and he will respond to you, although sometimes he may take some time, but he will respond to you nevertheless. Okay, and I'm not very sure whether he still have any spare set for this one, because this was released sometime last year if I'm not wrong. Okay, so you may try your luck, you can still contact him and ask him about it. Okay, and let's see how it goes from there. Okay, and lastly, I do hope you enjoy this comparison between the Takara Tony set as well as the NOTA Studio set. Do give me a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and of course always feel free to leave me any comments below if you have any further questions about either one of these two sets. I'll be very happy to answer to you. Okay, and before you leave, I hope you will check out the playlist that I always put right over here, and also do stay tuned for more pictures, as I have prepared some comparison pictures for these two sets in the UV lights. Okay, so you can see which one actually looks better when the UV light shines on them. Okay, and I also hope that you will browse around my channel, take a look at some of the videos. I believe that there will be some that will attract you and catch your attention, and I do hope you enjoy them, and I will see you in those videos. Bye.